Okay, we talk a lot about intimacy, right? But what if we'd been asking all the wrong questions? Today, we're not just going to talk about what intimacy is, but what it was ultimately designed for. And believe me, the answer might just change everything.
Look, most conversations about intimacy start and end with personal fulfillment, with joy. And hey, those are good things. Of course they are. But is that the whole story? Is that all there is to it? Or is there a deeper purpose, a much grander design that we might be missing out on?
So, this is where we're going to take a pretty radical turn. The foundational idea we're exploring today is that the ultimate purpose of this incredibly profound human connection, well, it isn't actually about us.
Instead, it's all about someone infinitely bigger. The whole idea is that everything, and that includes marital intimacy, is designed to reflect God's goodness and to point back to Him. You know, like it says in 1 Corinthians, whatever you do, do all to the glory of God.
So what's the framework for this God-glorifying union? Well, it all comes down to this one powerful word, covenant. Now, this isn't just some contract. It's a sacred sign, and it's rooted way back in Genesis, where two people become one flesh inside this lifelong, binding promise. This covenant, that's the container that gives intimacy its real, true meaning.
And this really shows us two completely different ways to think about it. You can almost think of it like a game of volleyball. Covenant love, that's like being on the same team. You're both focused on setting your partner up for the perfect play. It's all about mutual service and faithfully giving to each other. But the other approach, consumption, that's like playing volleyball against a wall. The only goal is your own self-gratification. You're just spiking the ball for yourself, taking what you want with zero real commitment. It's a completely different game.
So inside this covenant, intimacy becomes so much more than just a physical act. It's actually designed to be a living parable, a real-life story that's meant to illustrate a much, much deeper spiritual truth.
So what's this profound mystery the parable is telling? Well, the Apostle Paul reveals it right here. He says this one-flesh union is a living, breathing picture of the relationship between Christ and the church. It's a story of sacrificial, unending, covenant-keeping love. So the marriage bed becomes a place where a couple doesn't just experience love, but they actually learn what divine love is really all about. And this divine love story, it was never meant to be a closed loop. No, it's designed to be fruitful. The union is pointed not just inward at the couple, but outward and forward, with this beautiful potential to create new life, to create a family.
You see this fruitfulness most clearly in the gift of children. From this viewpoint, children aren't just accessories to a lifestyle. They're seen as a primary blessing. They're image bearers of God. Psalm 127 actually calls them a heritage from the Lord, a sacred trust given to us, not something we own.
Okay, so if intimacy is for God's glory, and it's a covenant sign, and it's a fruitful parable, what does that actually look like in real life? Well, it all comes down to one core idea. It is a gift to be given. At its heart, covenant love is about giving, not taking. It's not about consuming something for your own personal satisfaction, and it's definitely not something you're entitled to. It's an act of love that serves and gives, a love that puts the other person first. It's just like that principle from Philippians. Don't just look out for your own interests, but also for the interests of others. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What about joy? What about pleasure? This is where it all comes together beautifully. The issue isn't pleasure itself. The issue is idolatry. See, when pleasure becomes the ultimate goal, the main thing we worship, it becomes an idol. But when we see it as a gift, something received with gratitude inside of this bigger, beautiful design, then it finds its proper place. And here's the amazing paradox in all of this. True, deep, lasting joy isn't found by chasing it down as the main goal. It's actually the delightful result, a gift from God, that shows up when we embrace the full purpose of intimacy, for His glory, inside a covenant, as a living parable with a heart of giving love. So the final question is really for you. If this is the true design of intimacy, this rich, multi-layered, God-glorifying purpose, how does that completely reshape your view of love, your view of marriage, and what it really means to be truly and deeply connected?